Hello everyone, this is Jim Okrasinski with this week's lecture video. So since we are working on revisions, I thought it would be a good time to pull up the old revision PowerPoint and take a look at some of the content here. It may help everyone think about what essays they want to revise, how they want to go about revising the essay, and some of the steps that they can use to follow through on the revisions for to help the writing of the cover letter and then ultimately ending up into the e-portfolio. So if you were to look at the course content outcomes in the syllabus, there are specific outcomes that address revision. Employ the following basic techniques during the writing process, and it talks about the revision techniques. Okay, more elaboration or more support, editing techniques such as finding and correcting error patterns in the writing. Part of the outcomes here as far as we go through the revision process. So some of the strategies that we see here for revision. Understand the meaning and value of revision and apply it to your own work when appropriate. And recognize the types of revision and apply the most relevant strategies to a particular draft. So, if we look at 4 levels of rewriting, sort of a global issue to a more local issue, the deep revision is meant to really tear apart an original draft and restructure its organizational content, its purpose, its meaning. If you just move up to revision, you're clarifying purpose and meaning again, reorganizing research, generating new information, and you decide what to put in and leave out of a particular essay. You might want to get rid of something and then add something in. Editing, cutting unnecessary words, checking your diction, smoothing out awkward language and clarifying your sentence structures. All right. And then proofreading, which is the final stage of revision. You're looking at to correct misspellings and punctuation, check grammar, and also check your citations, your works cited page, and your in-text citations. Now, one of the ways we achieve successful revision is what's called divorcing the draft, putting some time between your writing and revision. Okay. This is the purpose of the portfolio and the cover letter, is to have you revisit essays you've done in the past, whether it's essay 1 or essay 2, which were really quite a while ago. You've divorced yourself from the final draft of that particular essay. Even essay 3, by the time you uploaded and finished it and actually started coming back to it, there is an element of time. And that time allows us to re-see writing, right? Whether you revise at the beginning of the process, as most writers do, after you craft the draft, it's achieving some separation from what you initially thought, what you initially said, and how you said it. To revise well, writers must divorce the draft, and that's that time factor. Often in our crazy schedules and lives, we have this tendency to procrastinate. Procrastination and pulling together an essay at the last minute or any piece of writing at the last minute is always not the best product. All right. So, strategies for divorcing the draft. I mentioned time. Sometimes during the writing process, we don't set aside that kind of time. Attacking the draft physically, cut and paste revision. A simple exercise for this is to cut up all your paragraphs and kind of move them around and see how they read. If you are focused, if you are not focused, how can you reorganize your paragraphs? Sometimes is a helpful activity. Also, you can ask readers outside for more distant views and put the draft away. I don't know if most people like to begin anew. Writing different leads and different openings. That's why for essays 2 and 3, I do offer you 2 choices, and you can even work in a third choice of openings for your particular essay drafts. Sometimes research helps, right? Let the knowledge of others deepen your topic. You've done some source searching there for SA3. How are you using the knowledge in those sources? Are you integrating appropriate quotes? Do they apply and move your apply to your topic and move the topic further, the conversation further? Always one of the best ways to divorce yourself from the draft, not only with time, but read your essay out loud slowly and purposely. If you read it out loud, you can hear the draft and notice what's needed. Okay. And then also journaling is an excellent way to revise a draft. So, who needs to revise? People who wrote fast drafts or short drafts, some that indulge in creative but not critical thinking, right? We need to establish critical thinking. Most of the essays are critical thinking, a little bit of emotional, all right? Uh, got into the way of the third essay, so we want to think about that topic critically, okay? Rarely go past the initial way of seeing things. If you're kind of stuck in one vision, the idea behind researching a topic and presenting it is to learn new information and see about how you can reshape your thinking on a topic. Have a hard time imagining a reader other than themselves. When we often write, we write for ourselves, but then we have to be able to convert our draft into something that the reader is involved in, and we have to draw that reader in, right? We have to have the reader identify with our topic and what we're writing, right? Just like the targeted audience in the second essay, the summary essay, you want to make sure that you are really appealing to those trade school recruiters, right? So, who haven't found a way, their own way of saying what they want to say and haven't delivered on their promises. And always the person who thinks their draft is perfect needs to take another look and re-see their draft. What may be perfect to you as a writer may not resonate with the audience. And remember, writers write to be read. Writing is not about you, it is about the reader. Okay? So, here, if we look at the types of revision, we want to look at general purpose, meaning, information, structure, and then very at the bottom, the local issues like style and clarity. That's why I often say in the peer review report, stay away from grammar issues, but that's the default, the fallback. Help with grammar. Or if you're a peer reviewer, you comment on grammar. Well, the idea here is the assignment being followed? What is the purpose? Is there a meaning? How is the information? What's the information's quality, and how is it presented? Are always more important in my mind than the grammar and style, right? So if you have a problem with purpose, the typical reader responds to drafts with each kind of problem. Can you answer the so what question? What is that one point you're trying to get across? Why does your particular writing matter to the audience, to the reader? The beginning of the essay seems to be about one thing and the rest of it is about several others. That means staying focused. If I write a comment in your essay draft about being focused or you're drifting, this is exactly what I'm referring to. I don't know why the writer is writing the paper. And when you get this kind of a comment, all right, or I make this type of a comment in your draft, that means you failed to establish the main point. I don't understand why. If you're just regurgitating information, where is it going and what is it doing? Okay, so we have a different one here, the three different topics in the draft. Which one do you want to write about? Where are you going? Take, for example, the problem solution essay. If you're looking at the proposal argument, it's one focused problem. You give me three separate topics with three separate solutions. That is not the proposal argument. Okay, which one do you want to focus on? Oftentimes is my comment. So you have to look at what the purpose is of your writing, to explore, to explain, to evaluate, or to reflect. Right? It's very important to establish what is your purpose. All right? In essay 2, you are providing a summary and informing trade school recruiters. In essay 3, you're writing to your classmates. All right? I said to write across. The audience is each other. You're writing about problems about higher education and how to go about solving them. Right? So that is an important factor when you're looking at your assignments. Problems with meaning. Okay. Some typical reader response to drafts with each kind of a problem. Like I thought the thesis was saying something pretty obvious. I think there is a main idea, but there isn't much information on it. There doesn't seem to be the point behind all of this. All right. We're looking for that say one thing, that main point. I can't tell what the writer is trying to say in the draft. That's where focus and following the main point is critical. So I think that we could take a look at ways to describe meaning. You're looking for the thesis, the main point, a theme of an essay or writing. The controlling idea is another way we talk about the main point, a central claim or assertion, and all of that means a dominant meaning. Problems with information. Parts of the draft seem pretty vague or general. So, for example, in essay one, if I ask you to write specifics, you're looking at maybe developing some more details, some more information, because it just seems very vague. I'm not getting what I need out of that particular scene that you're writing about. I couldn't really see what you were talking about. It seemed like you needed more facts to back up a point. How do you go about looking at your research or information? Do you need to go back into the blue collar brilliance for SA2? Get some more information about Uncle Joe, right? Or Rosie, right? More detail is always a common comment that it gets from peer reviewers and others. How do we go about getting that detail? College writing is about depth, not about breadth. We don't work through the um, solution. I'm sorry. We looked at we tried to avoid, tried to avoid the surface. All right. So I have some ways to go beyond examples, providing background information, establishing some significance, giving it a face, right? When we write anecdotes or we talk about our experiences, we give a face to the issues and topics we're writing about, right? How do you define something? Will my readers know what I mean? So you have to take those steps to add some depth to your revision, okay? Part of the revision process here for the cover letter and the e-portfolio is to provide that depth and clarify to re-see what you have for your revision to work on. You've got some time to work on these revisions along with the cover letter. So that's the lecture video for this week about revisions, coming up on almost close to 13 minutes. So I think I'll leave it here. If you have any questions, send me an email. As always, good luck and stay safe.